What do you say, everybody? Welcome to Last Call. That's Jade Coker. I'm Mick Gillespie. Great to see you guys here. A weekend edition of our show. But we had something really, really good to talk about today, and that was given to us by our friends at The Next Round. Hey, we're part of The Next Round. You guys make sure you're a subscriber to The Next Round. Thank you for hanging out with us and being a part of the show. And let's get this show started. Let me play the open, and then we'll get right into Kirby Smart on The Next Round and our reaction to that. All right, there he is, Jake Coker, national championship winning quarterback, 2015. And the reason I'm saying that, by the way, I'm Mick Gillespie. Brought to you by Pearl River Resort, Philadelphia, Mississippi. The Azaleas, the Oaks, two amazing golf courses at Dancing Rabbit Golf Course. It's the Augusta you can play. Less than 2 hours from Tuscaloosa, 2 and change from Birmingham. I'm talking about championship level courses. My buddy Phil Hastings, probably watching this show, flew in. He works for the San Francisco Giants. He's there as we speak with a group of friends staying on the course at the villa that they have on the course at Dancing Rabbit. He was at Philip M's the other day when he called me, and I said, next time I go to Philip M's with my friend Jake, I'm not paying.
Yeah, kiss my ass.
All right, we've got too much to get into today to relive the mullet toss. But let me put our friends on here and our compadres, Ryan Brown, Jim Dunaway. They got Kirby Smart on here, and this is so worth talking about. I mean, this clip's gone viral. I'm sure everyone here has already seen it. But just in case, let's go ahead and listen to what he says.
Early in Georgia to now, how much has the depth changed on your roster? Man. The 1 to 2, 2 to 3.
I tell people all the time, I was like, our best Alabama teams, I'm going to go to 2012, 13, 14, 15, would beat the dog out of all these teams right now because they could practice different and they were deeper. Okay, the game has not changed that much from 2012 to 2025, but the roster has, and those teams would clubber lane somebody. They would just physically beat you. And look at our team now and go, oh, man, oh, God, we don't have the depth we have. We're not as good as we're not good. And then we go out there and win the SEC. And I'm like, it's just relative. It's relative. It's like everybody's going, I'm not saying going down because there's an Indiana, there's a Michigan, but relative, it's going down. Like there's not as much talent acquisition and much talent on the team to be able to just develop and grow. You're playing younger players. I got kids that would have never played at Georgia when I got there or at Alabama I was there that are having to play now. Right. Because you don't have enough.
All right, there you go. He included your team in that. And I don't disagree with that at all. As a matter of fact, I love the fact that he used the Clubber Lang. You know who Clubber Lang is? Did you hear that? Did you immediately realize Clubber Lang's the guy that fought Rocky in Rocky 3?
Oh yeah, no, it's great. It's great, and if you can really hear
Mr. T's Clubber Lang.
Yeah, I mean, you know, all these coaches are. I know they're tired of dealing with what they got to deal with every year with the NIL battle, but and we've talked about it. I don't know how many times, you know, how it's good, how it's bad. But when you get to the direct message he's sending, yeah, I mean, our team and 2015, the teams before us, I mean, they would have beat the shit out of these teams that are playing now. And you know, I'm not saying that the best players in the country are lesser than the best players in the country 10 years ago, but he's right. I mean, when I was at Alabama, you had guys like, I mean, Marlon Humphrey getting some scout team reps. You had Anthony Jennings on the scout team. I mean, you had guys, you know, that were 2 and 3 on the depth chart that were going in the first round 2 years later or a year later. I mean, it's not even close to the same level of football now. And again, it's like 5A, 4A high school football and Alabama versus 7A. I mean, you just got more bodies and more able-bodied guys to be out there rotating in and out. And, I mean, you're fresher. I don't know how the practice rules have changed. again, when you watch those old school Alabama games, I mean, it seemed to me like there was far more ferocity out there on the field than there is now. I don't know. You look now, and it seems to be like semi-pro football, where I mean, guys are there, they make their money and they move on. They're just hired guns, you know.
Mhm.
You know, you think about, to me, like the Jonathan Allen quote after the Michigan State game. You know, when we beat Michigan State pretty handily, and somebody asked him, y'all just won 38-0. That doesn't happen. Nobody does that. And he goes, well, Bama does. I mean, you love that quote. You love that mentality. I was at Alabama 2 years, and I mean, I'm part of the transfer, I guess, fraternity. But to me, I would not have left Florida State if there wasn't an opportunity at Alabama.
Right.
I really enjoyed Florida State. There's a lot going on during my recruitment, and we've covered that, in this podcast. And all of a sudden, Jameis was named the starter, and Alabama came open. Had a guy younger than me starting, so it made sense. And Alabama was obviously a dream school of mine. There was a lot of emotion that went into that decision to play there, and I freaking love Alabama. I loved going to Tuscaloosa. Loved playing there. It meant a lot to put that jersey on, and you just don't get the feel that there's that kind of passion and love for the school that you go to, like there was 10 years ago.
Right.
I mean, the camaraderie and the love for Alabama within that locker room was it was just different. There was a different level of passion, and you could see it on the field. You felt you had Coach Saban, you had Scott Cochran, who were the staples of building the culture there, and it was all about toughness. I mean, everything you did was about having a mental and physical edge when you stepped out on that field. And not only did you have a starting rotation full of guys that were just ruthlessly physical, you had guys behind them who learned over a year or two before they played how to dominate. And
Right.
I mean, you had that culture instilled from upperclassmen to younger classmen, and it just, after Coach Saban built that standard, it just permeated through that locker room. And it really came down to, people always ask me, when Coach Saban was there after I left, I mean, how are we going to do this year? And I would always say, I mean, we're going to win the national championship as long as we've got, the leaders in place, or we'll be in that top 4 playoff spot, as long as you got a solid core of seniors who lead us through the bowl season, lead us through the playoffs and all that, and keep everybody together. I mean, that was really the difference to me. Coach Saban, I mean, the team got to a point where it coached itself. Obviously, he still kept us on the straight and narrow, but when the team starts coaching themselves and policing themselves is when you really know you got the right program in place, and that's where we were. And again, nowadays, from not only depth but instilling that culture, building that continuity, not having new faces around every year, learning the system, learning how to play at Alabama or any school they're at. It just creates chaos. It's a chaotic environment, and guys can't learn the way that they used to learn, having years to develop and get better on and off the field, growing up. I mean, there's an argument there that they have to grow up because they're making money now. They got to make the right decision for themselves, but I think it's somewhat deteriorated the relationships within college football as well. And so you don't have time to really to become a brotherhood with a core group of guys from freshman year to senior year, or guys that are at that school from for The only reason being that they love being there and they wanted to go there from the start.
Right. First off, I agree with you. Secondly, the other thing too is you transferred, but you also graduated. So you were a graduate student. You put the time in at Florida State. I think people never had a problem with transfers. It was just that it's turned into this now where even if you're in a great situation, you're still going to transfer because it's all about money, right?
Yeah.
And I look at this and let me tell you guys that we love the fact that we're brought to you by Patriot Roofing and Builders, the guys over there constantly working hard to make sure that your house is looking good. And what I love about these guys is that when you call Will and Justin, they answer, right? Patriot Roofing and Builders, unlimited builders licenses. They've got it all. Roofing, siding, gutters, windows, full home renovations, free inspections as they rebuild houses by putting a great roof on there and looking solid, right? So give them a call at 205-919-4494, free inspections. And that is Patriot Roofing and Builders. A couple guys that love Alabama too. And that's Birmingham and Tuscaloosa and surrounding areas. So do you think it's better for the game that the talents spread out like it is now? Because in essence, that's what's happened, right? Like Alabama and Georgia and Clemson, and Ohio State were programs that had a ton of talent and guys would wait. Like Alabama's actually still got that going on with the quarterback position. But do you think it's better for the game like this? I mean, take away the crimson covered glasses for Alabama.
Well, I don't think it's, I think the goal the goal of any sport is to have more competition, right? I don't think it's a bad thing. But my problem with all of it is just the way that it's spread. I mean, guys can just up and leave, and there is no guarantee on the part of the player. They've got all the leverage, and I was a player. I mean, I've never been a college coach. I'm looking at it from the player's lens. I never had a problem with me having to graduate and transfer. I mean, I think again, you owe that to the coaches and the institution that gave you a scholarship to begin with. You fulfill your duty as a player and as a student. Fulfill your commitment, and then you have the opportunity to leave. I got no problem with guys getting paid. To me, it is the way that it is spread. To me, is the problem. I mean, look, if we can't get a guy in high school, then it is what it is. My problem is, again, guys just being able to up and leave out of nowhere, and really the whole foundation of, if people were watching football because of the best product out there, then nobody would even watch college football. They would watch NFL. All the time. But people watch college football because they want to root for players that go to their school and represent their school the right way and feel like they're a part of it. Supporting guys that love their school and want to do well for their school and make their state, school, whatever, proud. I mean, that's the college football is all about tradition. So now that we've introduced the transfer portal, which is the biggest issue in my mind. I mean, that's to me caused the product to just go downhill. I mean, again, if it's all about price and you get paid and you're going to stay there, then that's great. Or at least stay there until you've fulfilled your commitment, whether that's a contract guarantee or graduation. I mean, that's the way it should be. But I mean, it's hard to watch. I know that other schools feel this way, but it's hard to watch guys like, and of course guys like Isaiah Horton. We pick him up. He came out of the transfer portal, so I mean, it's not like he was an Alabama guy to begin with. But when you've got success, when you're playing, when the school's giving you everything they can and everything they can within their means to also keep a healthy roster around you. It's hard to watch guys leave.
Well, I think part of it too is that we look at this and we're like, don't we need to have some kind of like rules? You know, I mean, like every game you play has rules, right? Like, and roster management and, you know, and having a roster that has some sort of rules and regulations matters, because without that, I mean, teams can cheat, and that's what's going on. I mean, there's cheating going on, and there's no, and is it even cheating because there are no rules, right?
Yeah, and I'm also getting tired of hearing the most common comment is that the SEC used to pay players, and that's why they were so much better. I mean, it's not like money was just everywhere, all over the place. I mean, I know that it had to have happened. I never got paid, but I mean, I know it had to have. I mean, would have been nice, but I don't know all that stuff. I mean, if it happened, I mean, it was very hush hush. And I mean, you see some of these scandals that come out, and nobody really knows the amount of money that changed hands. And it happened. I mean, it had to have happened at all schools. And if you think Ohio State and Michigan and all those other schools, didn't partake a little bit or are as guilty as any other school, then you're out of your mind. But it wasn't to a point where it was making guys really, really change their decisions, unless you probably have like a handful of like the top recruits in the country that found a way. You know what I mean? But it was in my eyes, it was kind of like high school nowadays, where somebody gets a job in a different district and then they move and kids play it. I mean, it was. I feel like it was stuff like that. Again, maybe outside of like the Reggie Bushes and the absolute top guys in their class. But again, that's not happening for 85 guys on scholarship 10 years ago.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, but nowadays, yeah, I mean, money matters now because you got $50 million rosters out there. That was never the case back in the day. I mean, if it was a money issue, Alabama would have the highest paid roster in the country, and we just keep on going. So,
yeah,
I don't know. I mean, again, money is a factor now because it's become so blatant and so massive, but that was not the case, 10 years ago when I was playing.
Yeah. Well, there's always somebody that wants to disparage the success that Nick Saban in Alabama had, but it just doesn't fly. I mean, like it just doesn't. Like I don't even care about that. I look at these teams and realize, like, you could come to Alabama and play under the best coach of all time, and people wanted that. And he coached you tough, and he was different, right? Like, Kirby's taken that same formula, and it's still working at Georgia, not to the extent that Coach Saban did it, but still, I mean, he's still a champion. So I guess like it's just kind of part of the hate that Alabama has had to deal with because of the years of success, right? Like we'll just blame it on the money. The money is why other like Ohio State's been so good. I don't think that it's a shot at them. They just went out and spent more money, and they did a good job of getting great players. And, you look at the draft, and it's not a surprise that they have been the most talented team in the country and won so many games. They were always good, but where we didn't have the resources to take that next step, they did. But it shouldn't be. You shouldn't be allowed to do that. That's all I'm saying. But right now you are. So what are you going to do about it?
Yeah, I mean, again, I don't even think it's to me. It's not a. If you have more money to spend on players, all good. But again, you can't. To me, you can't stretch out. I mean, Alabama financially is stressed out or stretched out in terms of. I mean, we got plenty of money, but stretched out in terms of trying to keep up with the top of the top. And, for them to stretch themselves out, pay a guy, $1 million or more, and then for him to just up and leave the next year, you got to have guarantees in place there. And don't get me wrong, talent is spread out, but as long as that's the case, you're going to get that same concentration of talent. It's just going to be at the money schools. So you're just flipping the issue. Unless you got coaches that can really think outside of the box and really put their time in.
Indiana
did.
Yeah. Right. And we'll see if they're able to go out there and find those same, much older and experienced players, less talent, but still technically really good. And that wins, right? And I'm not taking anything away from them. I love that. Hey, let me tell you guys about Residence Inn by Marriott Ocean City. Back to back coastal style hotel of the year right there on the OC coast. Place to go, Ocean City, beautiful beaches, great food out there. I love crabs, my favorite food. They do them steamed, crab cakes, crab soup, crab imperial. I mean, I'm sound like Forrest Gump with shrimp. I can eat them any way you make them. They got the boardwalk secrets, and our friend Keith is a great part of the show. Keith actually has invited us to the White Marlin Open, and he's going to give the champion, the Residence Inn is going to give the champion this belt he was showing me. And then we got to talking, and I was like, that's a cool belt. And he was like, yeah, it's a great belt. And he was kind of like, maybe you guys need a belt for something else. He sent me this.
That is great. Now that is great.
Can you imagine if we exchanged this belt every year? Look at the mullet with the mullet on it.
We need to make that happen.
Alabama and Florida flags, the mullet flying, and then look at Joe Dirt over there. Keith's awesome, man. What a cool, what a funny thing to do. Oh man, I had such a great time. I had to thank Steve and Jen and Paul and John and all the gang at the Floribama, man. Like, forget about the results of the toss and all that stuff. Man, it was just such a good time. I know we talked about it last week, man, our last show, but God, it was so much fun. The weather couldn't have been better either.
The rain got out of there. It was nice and cool. Hard to beat, and the beach water really wasn't that cold either because I went and jumped in as soon as I was done. I jumped in right after I told my daughter I
won. Of course, Dad won. How did they like it? How did the kids like it?
They were ready to get back out of there. They were ready for me to jump in the water. Oh yeah,
They were cute little girls, man. I mean. They're so small, man. I forget about, like, my son's going into 9th grade next year. Like, he's like on a growth spurt right now. I forgot about what they were like when they're little. I saw a picture of them in 3rd grade. It popped up on my phone the other day. I was like, whoa, man. Like, we've grown a lot over the last 6 years. You'll see what I mean.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be nice when they're not wearing diapers to go to sleep anymore. That's gonna be a nice one. Nice landmark.
I missed the Friday show on Floribama Radio, which, by the way, is brought to you by Pearl River Resort. So are we. Let me just play the Pearl River Resort commercial where I'm fat one more time, because I'm about to go to the gym here. This is my motivation.
On today's show, 2 legends call their own plays at Pearl River Resort.
Wow, Jake's first throw scores.
And Steve's got the crowd pumped. They're absolutely rolling.
'Cause I don't have to be me. So Monday, Friday, Saturday,
These two still got game.
Come call your own plays
At Pearl River Resort. Let's roll.
I don't have to be me till Monday.
And if I stand up, my gut's not hanging over my belt as bad. So
I never noticed that. Yeah, I get you were right. I mean, you're looking pretty thick in that, but
Oh my
I
goodness.
never noticed. I mean, I joke about you being fat, but I didn't.
That's what the motivation was. I mean, look. Not I don't want to go back there again, man. Yeah, that was seeing that commercial. I turned to the side and I was like, "Oh my god,
Oh
what
no!
are we doing?" Yeah. Hey, look, I'm not winning this if I was looked like that. Oh, so crazy. I love Pearl River. We need to get over there and golf. It's just that time. How's your back?
Still not right, but I'm getting there.
Are you?
Yeah.
You doing treatments and stuff?
Yeah, I got the Senior Bowl golf tournament tomorrow. Roman Harper. Roman Harper's getting inducted.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he's coming down.
He was great. I watched him.
Roman was old school. Tell you about it. That's a guy that I have loved getting to know over the years. I didn't know him until about 4 or 5 years ago, but
right.
Him and I met him at Coach Saban's golf tournament a few years ago, and shared a couple beers with him and Rashad Johnson and Freddie Kitchens. That was an awesome experience. And Tripp.
Yeah, Tripp. Yeah. Roman Harper's a really good broadcaster.
Yeah, he's great and a great guy too.
I mean that. I mean, not every former player's good. There's a lot of guys that aren't. They got good takes, but they're not very good at the delivery part of it. He's got it all down. Got the look, he's got the personality, he's got the delivery. You can tell he's put a lot of time and effort into becoming a pro and got a lot of respect for him. On top of the fact that I loved him as a football player.
Yeah. Yeah. He actually, I say that the first time I met him was at the Iron Bowl my senior year. And he was just really nice when I met him then. But, the first time I really got to talk to him, and, you don't really meet somebody until you share a beer with them.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, met Roman and met Sean Alexander at that Iron Bowl. They both came down to the locker room. It was pretty cool.
I was at the Sean Alexander Iron Bowls. We beat Auburn one year down there and then beat them in Tuscaloosa. I want to say 99 was in Tuscaloosa, 98 was down there. I don't know, but I was on a run of going to the Iron Bowl every year.
As soon as he left was the fear of the thumb, the 5 streak, I guess.
Yeah, we got hit by the sanctions really killed us. It was a big part of that. And then, that we just played bad games. And the thing about it is when you look at the history of the Iron Bowl, the better team normally wins. I mean, there's upsets, and then in the game, the team that plays the smarter, mistake-free football wins, which I guess is most games. It just has a feverish intensity, man. And Auburn's the team now that's lost and fear in the thumb and everything, and they got to come to Tuscaloosa this year, and it'll be another really interesting game. But Bama could get it. I mean, it's been a long time since Auburn's beaten us in Tuscaloosa. This thing could get to 7, which would be awesome.
Yeah, the only time I guess the only time I thought the lesser team won was when we ended up playing Auburn in the national championship when I was at Florida State. What was that 2013? I guess.
Yeah.
The kick 6 year. Yeah, that was awkward because I remember one of the first. I think it was the first practice I had at Alabama. Coach Saban was on one, man. He was pissed off, and he was, we had a bad practice, I think, and he's dog cussing us at the end of practice, and he's talking about how much better Alabama, Alabama was than Florida State the year prior. The team that I was on that won the national championship, and he was talking about how much better the Alabama team was than the Florida State team, and just just on and on and on. And everybody's kind of looking at me. I was like, hey, man, I'm here now. Don't look at me.
Would he do that on occasion? I'm sure it wasn't geared to you. I mean, he was just probably – would he talk about other teams like that a lot?
I mean, yeah, the internal conversations were obviously a lot different than the public conversations.
Right. They're a great team. They got everything you need. They're
looking back on, man, I missed that so much. Just hearing him get fired up was so awesome. Even when he was mad, it was, I wish I had a little bit more perspective when I was playing for him and listening to those rants. He was, man, one of a kind. You can't beat him.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, buddy. Well, another great show. We'll do it again this week. We got 2 in again this week, so we're on a good roll. And I like what Kirby had to say.
I do too.
Seeing those guys get national attention.
Kirby was about that close to going on an unhinged rant. I was waiting on some Coach Saban to come out.
Yeah, right.
Because I could tell he was looking at Ryan. He goes, what do you think? He's like, and I was like, oh, here we go.
Yeah,
Ryan's kind of like backing up. He goes, what are you going to say? It's because we paid players? And I was like, oh no.
Yeah, right. Yeah, no doubt. Hey guys, make sure that you comment, like, subscribe to the channel, The Next Round, and we appreciate Pearl River Resort for being a part of what we do. Also, Patriot Roofing and Builders, and then of course our friend Keith at Residence Inn by Marriott for putting that belt together. So anyway, thanks guys, and roll tide.
Roll tide.
So, Jake, let's break down some game tape.
Hold on, fellas. Steve,
Hey, Jake, you ready to rock?
let's roll, brother.
Guess we're calling plays at Pearl River Resort. Wow, Jake's first throw scores.
And Steve's got the crowd pumped. Man, they're absolutely rolling.
'Cause I don't have to be me till Monday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I ain't gonna face reality.
I tell you, Jake's still got game.
While Steve keeps rocking aces.
Boom, Jake seals it with a pick.
I don't have to be
Come call your own plays.
At Pearl River Resort, let's roll.
I don't have to be me till Monday,